children. Welcome back to another Random Talking Story Time. I am Hillbilly Creeper, your host as always. And today we're gonna try something a little different. Usually I record these things off of my cellular phone, but I've gotten some criticism, that it be negative or creative criticism, that no one can hear me due to my, mask. But I figured I would do my recordings from now on my laptop computer, which right now you're gonna have to just ignore this wire that's hanging and dangling and all that good stuff until I get better equipment. Until then. But it's not going to really affect the show regardless. As long as y'all can hear me, that's all I need. Yeah, he was sulking about it too. Nobody wants to hear you today, victim or hostage. Hell, at this point, I don't fucking care. Oh, and I thought you did care. Anyway, everyone knows that yesterday was a big event due to Joe Biden being the new president, inaugurated in yesterday, and that being Trump is the only damn thing people are talking about besides Biden. Hell, it seems like Trump leaving is the only thing that people's been talking about so far. Hell, I'm talking about him still. But then again, that's how that goes. As long as things get better and people come back to my woods all curious and I'm not out the job, that's good enough for me. Besides, I just don't want to be one of those slasher villains that get lost in memory and forgotten about. But enough all that. You came here for stories, I guess. Let's see here. Well, I ain't really got a story per se, but I do got a story format. I'm thinking about bringing back Wendy. Well, Wendy wasn't gone, per se. She was, quote unquote, hibernating. And, I figured it's time to wake her up. Hopefully, I will keep my promise to the people as I tried to do in 2020 until all this rigmarole bullshit happened. And yeah, I'm hoping to bring her back, probably reboot her character. Excuse me. It's itchy under this thing. I can't really get to it. Most of it's just scar tissue, but anyway. I want to bring Wendy from hell back. And bigger than ever. I thought about rewriting her character altogether. Think of it as a redesign reboot, sort of. This time, it's the same guy writing about the original character. Not some money-hungry, greedy corporate bullshit person who just wants, oh, she's a demon, she kills people, the end type of bullshit. But yes, Wendy from hell will be coming back sooner or later. Hopefully sooner. As soon as I can think of an original way of bringing her back. Now, If some of you kept up with Wendy from Hell, which, again, I will say that my stories are on Creepypasta XYZ, non-funded or non-sponsored, by the way. I don't want to get sued. So, yes, she is on Creepypasta XYZ. Well, her stories are, along with all my other good classics and stuff like that. So, go check that out again and see where I need improving, and maybe send me some messages. My email's up on my About page. Send me an email, give me some ideas, and I will incorporate your ideas into the story if I can, if possible, as long as they're in guidelines of the YouTube gods. But other than that, I will take everyone's story ideas into consideration. I will give everyone credit. I will give everyone the deservatory they need and deserve. But yes, Wendy's coming back. I'm thinking of merging the origin story of Wendy with how she showed up to begin with. Yes, usually the person writes the character before the origin, because at that time they just want to jump into the lake instead of dipping their toes in, which you should never do, by the way. I done this when I first came out as a writer, and I sort of regret it. Sort of. I've been ridiculed, been made a mockery, been called a thief, a liar, a lazy bum, etc., etc. But the truth is, your old hillbilly just had a lot of things to worry about in his personal life. But other than that, don't listen to all the rigmarole, the lies, and all this. Just take me serious when I say Wendy is coming back. And that is a promise I'm willing to keep, one way or the other. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm dying, I'm crying. And if I'm crying, well, I'm not killing anybody. But, enough of the random gobbledygoo. The story is laid out like this. Wendy is summoned by devil worshippers like in the origin, but there's going to be more detail to it. She's summoned by unprofessional, untrained Satan worshippers who basically don't know what the hell they're doing. This is placed back in the 1960s to 1950s, depending on how far you want to go with this. So they're conjuring up demons, saying their chants, and, well, they bring up this demon, and they conjure up the demon, and the demon says the catchphrase, "Come play with me." And then everyone starts dropping dead like flies in midair. And with one last breath, the high priest Satanist says, "Why are you doing this to me, demon? We worship you. We love you. And the demon just laughs at this and says, I just want to play. I don't care about worship. You belong to me now, my little toy. And then she slits his throat and then proceeds outside and slips into the sewers for a few years. And then, after the bodies were found by the police and the FBI, went on file, etc., etc., you've seen the origin story by Detective Sims, or Agent Sims. And the church was demolished. The Wendy's restaurant was put there in its place. Now, mind you, this is all fictional. This never happened, so just putting it out there. There was no church where the original Wendy's was. At least I hope not. That would be bad if that was accurate. But anyway, when Wendy's was built, the demon emerges from its hibernation and sees the sign, decides to take on the form of Wendy with an eye. Now, she goes among the humans disguised in a shape or form. She takes the form of a little girl, adult, anything she can turn into. She's kind of like it. But instead of an intergalactic alien from space, she's a demon from hell. So she pretty much hunts down her victims and pretty much, quote unquote, plays with them. So, yeah, that's pretty much the layout for that. Pretty much what I'm going to do, hopefully, if I get time, if I'm not busy hunting people down and messing with Jackass over there. Hey! Well, it's true, ain't it? Yes. But anyway, hey, can you please tell your wife to quit dressing me up like a poodle? Honey, please stop messing with my victim. You're pretty much distracting me with all those colors and all that. Don't give me those puppy dog eyes. Fine, you can dress him up. Besides, he looks cute in that dress you put him in. Weirdly enough, thank you. But anyway, this is going to do it for today's Random Talk and Story Time with your host, Hillbilly Creeper. And remember, children, stay creepy, stay crazy, and try to stay alive. And I will see you tomorrow. And remember, as well, Uncle Creeper loves you even after you're dead. Until tomorrow's video, I will see you in your nightmares. Bye-bye for now.